Hello everyone, my name is Rachel and I lost 70 pounds on trizepatide. This is part of my series. I'm sorry that it took me longer to get this one out. Originally, I was ahead of the game getting one out every Saturday, and then I ended up getting sick, and then it just, um, went from there. And not to mention, I really didn't know how to go about doing this episode. This is going to be one of the last ones that's pretty hard during this series. Um, if you've been following this, the last episode was pretty hard, and I didn't really think it was going to be. Actually, I thought I was over all of those feelings and I was in a good place, but just going back and remembering how I used to feel about a lot of things and how much time I wasted having those feelings it really came back to me. But now we're talking about boundaries that I started to have to set and learning to be okay with myself and getting through some hurdles with my husband because he was at a point where he didn't know if he was going to be able to be with me with all the changes that I was going to be making. But I guess we'll start with I did also leave off with a lot of feelings that I didn't feel supported. And once I decided that my new goals were going to be trying to get on a bodybuilding stage, getting on a bodybuilding stage by the time I turned 55, I expressed those feelings to the friends that were close to me and started to really express open-mindedly how I was feeling, as well as them telling me how they were feeling. And it brought us actually closer together and learning to appreciate each other further. One situation that happened with my best friend was um, in last year. Um, I I decided to do bodybuilding in October of 2024, but last year was a big change for family and my husband because, as I was saying, with my best friend in the whole wide world that I love very much, um, I started feeling like we were not going to have things in common anymore, and she started feeling like I um, didn't feel the same way about her as well. There was an incident where we had went to dinner, and I think this incident is what opened my eyes to stop thinking about only my feelings. We were sitting at dinner, and I came across a picture of myself when I was bigger. And I showed them the picture and I said, golly, I can't believe y'all let me walk around like this. Like, I look so huge. Like, and I was almost feeling like I was so disgusted. Why didn't y'all tell me you're supposed to love me? And she just looks at me and she's like, well, we didn't see you that way because we love you. And then her whole mood changed on me. And I didn't think anything of it because I'm thinking about me, myself, how I was feeling and how I didn't like the way I looked in that picture and how far I'd come. And so later on when we left, we enjoyed our dinner and we went on, and neither one of us thought, well, I thought neither one of us thought anything about it. And then it ended up where she confided in me and told me that it made her feel like if I can be that disgusted with myself, and she's not exactly where she wants to be in her weight loss, then what was I thinking about her? That maybe I think that she's gross because she's heavier than she wants to be. And I never thought of it that way. And I felt bad because I in no way was saying that I think everybody else is gross. I was comparing me to the old me. And some of you that are in your weight loss and see pictures of yourself, you feel that way. And she can't understand it or didn't understand it because she's not there yet. She still was still in a body that she really didn't want to be in. Not saying she's overweight or huge or anything like that. Just saying she was not happy with herself as well as I wasn't happy with myself back then. So she told me that, and it hurt my feelings that I hurt her that way or made her feel that way. And then she told me, she's like, when we look at you, we don't look at your weight. We look at your heart and how beautiful you are. You know, your whole person, not just your weight. And we love you, and we didn't see flaw because we love you. And it made me realize, like, I need to stop and think about the way this is affecting everyone else and not just me. So after that, it brought us in closer in a sense that we were able to start talking to each other about what was bothering us more. Because there were some incidents that I was like, gosh, we're always going to all these restaurants that don't, they're all so unhealthy, Mexican restaurant, and I would vent to my husband, like, can't y'all pick something with some healthier foods for me? Like, why do I always have to be sitting out and just watching y'all, because I can't eat that, like, and it would irritate me. And then so I started to express a little more, like, let's try somewhere where I can go, let's try. And so she started agreeing with that. She actually had brought it up to me one time when we were at breakfast. She, you know what can you eat? Let's go to a brunch spot you can go to. And so she started to more understand my point as much as I understood hers. And that's where I started to just open up more. And my closest friends did the same, and we've been so good ever since. It was just it was a good place for us to be, and it's helped us to be able to communicate and talk more about just how we're feeling, not as well. So that ended up opening some doors for the people that are closest to me to understand me, as well as for me to understand them. And now we can get into my husband. So he was always there for me when I went through all my weight loss fad diets. He never said anything. He was always, okay, whatever, do whatever you want. Even when I wanted the trainer, do whatever you want, just not on my time. Do this. Go ahead. As long as what I was doing didn't affect him or his routine. And this is where him and I started to bump heads when I lost the weight, because I was like, he was like, well, I'm supporting you. You're doing all this, and I don't say anything. I've been supporting you through this whole thing. And in reality, he wasn't supporting me. He was just accepting that I was going to do what I wanted to do. So, I used to go 5 o'clock in the morning in the dark and by myself if I missed a run with the group. And did he, like, you know what, I'm going to ride the bike and go out with you, because he's not a runner, right? Or, get on the bike and go with you so you're not by yourself. Like, he never, that to me is support. But his mind was, if he was not saying anything to me because I was doing something crazy, or I was doing a new diet, or I lost all the weight, that's supportive to him. And that's where I allowed that to be okay, for him to feel like that he was supporting me. And a lot of that never really came up, because when I've told y'all, I would still go try to party and be the same Rachel. And this time it was different. I didn't want to drink, and I said no, and I said go by yourself, and I started to be an advocate for Rachel. I don't want to do it. It's too hard for me right now because I feel deprived when I'm out there just watching y'all. I wasn't at a point where I was just the way I am today. Today I go out with friends and they are having drinks and I'm like, more power to you. I'm getting up in the morning, and I'm good with it. I don't judge them. They don't pick on me and ask me, come on, let's do it. No, like we already know. I go and I take my food. I eat before I go and I enjoy company and my mentality is there. I'm doing this for me, you do you. And so I still go. But back then I didn't have that, like, my brain still wanted the alcohol and I felt like, oh, I'm just here with all these drunk people. Oh, I want to go home. It's getting late. I'm going to want one. I'm going to, oh, look at this food. Like I was, it wasn't like willpower. It was like hurting me to be out there with them. But in 2025, like the day in October of 24, when I said that was my goal, I wanted to get on that stage, I started to set up things that would make me successful. And that's when it started to hit him. When I would say, go by yourself, I don't mind. I have to go to sleep early. Go ahead and just go. His excuse, well, I didn't marry you so that I can go places by myself. I married you so that I can have someone go places with me. I married you. I want you to be there with me. Well, to me, I felt like, well, is it sabotage? Like, there's nothing wrong with going by yourself. It's cousins, it's friends, it's people I know. I trust you. But it wasn't even that. It was more like he just wanted me to be there. And I felt like when I finally decided to be an advocate for myself in those situations, that's when it was a problem for him. I don't know you anymore. You need someone that's like you, someone that wants this healthy lifestyle, one that wants to go to the gym all the time. Like he would be like, that's not me. I don't know you anymore. I'm like, well, don't you want to get to know me? Like, don't you want to know who this new person is? Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, why was it all or nothing? But I was always giving and giving. And it cost a lot on our marriage because, I mean, we almost separated. And one time that we were arguing, he made the comment, well, they always say once she gets skinny, she leaves her husband for a new person. I'm like, there's not even a new person involved. Like, you're doing all of this to yourself because it's like he wanted to give me an ultimatum, him or being healthy. And I wasn't going to do that to myself because I feel good in my body. I feel very good at the way my life is today. And so it took a lot for him. Like he would say, maybe I'd rather you be fat, because at least when you were fat, you didn't come up with all these crazy things that you want to do, and something's wrong with you. You don't ever feel like you're perfect, and you always want to get a surgery. You want to do this. And I was like, I'm just trying to improve myself. And I wanted him to get to know me. It was not only just me not going out with him, it was the clothes I wore. I'm gonna put up some pictures here of a bodysuit I wore when I was at about 145, 50 pounds. And then I'm gonna put up a bodysuit of the way I looked at 115 pounds. They're both bodysuits, but of course they're gonna look different because my body looks different. So why was it okay to wear one when it didn't look as attractive as now that it looks attractive? Like, now you want to worry about the clothes I'm wearing, and I'm with you when I wear them. And even gym clothes, I wore the same gym clothes, but they look different when you're 170 pounds and 145 pounds with all this skin, or even 120 pounds, 115 pounds with all this excess skin. compared to me with the skin removed. It looks different, but now you're complaining because in your eyes, it looks better. That's why you don't want me wearing it, because it looks better. And I wasn't going to change that either. I feel good in my gym clothes. I mean, no, I did not lose all the weight so I can go dress like a hoe. No, I didn't. But I like to wear clothes that make me feel good. And I don't care if I'm 52. If it looks nice on me and I think I look nice in it and my friends think I look nice in it and I'm with you, I'm going to wear it. And that was a non-negotiable to me. You're not going to tell me what to wear, and you're not going to stop me from going to the gym, and you're not going to try to force me to go places to sabotage how I'm going to feel the next day. And that was really hard for him. And even today it is. As a matter of fact, I'm on a mock prep, and I call it a mock prep because it's not for a competition, it's for the AC Bikini Fashion Show. In doing that, it's a problem, but I don't let it be a problem. It's a non-negotiable. I'm doing it because, like I told my husband, you need to give me reasons why I shouldn't eat right, go to the gym, and wear what I want, and feel good about myself. And if you want me to change back anything that you loved about me in the past, and you think it's negative, then I'll listen to you. But he can't, because there's nothing negative about wanting to be healthy. There's nothing negative about going to the gym. There's nothing negative about not staying out till 2 o'clock in the morning every weekend. There's nothing negative about that. And I'm not going to change to go back to something that is negative, something that's not going to help me or give me longevity. So we did a lot of back and forth. There was a point that he was going to move out, and he was trying to blame me, that it was me that changed, and me that didn't love him the same, and me that needed to be with someone else that was like-minded. It was all him, but yet he was trying to say that that's why women leave their husbands. They're backtrack. He told me once that, they always say skinny women, when women lose a lot of weight, they leave their husbands. No, their husbands leave them because they're insecure, because they have it in their head they're out to do something wrong, because they dress better, because they know that this woman, me, I'm more attractive skinny, and there's more people that may find me attractive. So it was all his fear and how he was feeling, and wanted me to just be that same person, because he didn't want to change anything for himself. And granted, my husband has diabetes. He was diagnosed at early 30s, and he still don't want to change anything. He's not overweight. He's very thin. He has a hard outdoor job, but I didn't push him to do what I wanted to do. And if he's not ready to commit to a healthier lifestyle, I'm not going to force him. I mean, early on, I did recognize that we were going to have issues, because when I said that I wanted to go to the gym originally, when I first started dieting and I wanted to go to the gym, it was like, do it on your own time. So did you really think I wanted to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be somewhere at 5? No. But if that was going to keep calmness and peace in my house, I was like, okay, I'll do it when he's asleep. And that way nobody can say anything to me. Back then, had I been this person that I am now, well, I enjoy it now. That it was a godsend thing, because I'm glad I did it that way. But anyway, at the time I didn't want to. I didn't want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I did it to say for peace. I wanted it to be peaceful in my home. I didn't want to argue, so I did it. Then when I started to enjoy it and felt like it was me time and got in the role of doing it. Now, for the first 6 months, I was with a trainer, so no one can go with me. But then after that, in 2024, after my tummy tuck, I started to go back after recovery, and I started to do the weights again and got back into the mode. And then he, was like, oh, she has to go at 3 in the morning. He started complaining that I was going so early. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything but my me time. It was a time where, I could be alone in my thoughts. They, like people tell you that when you really get into the gym, like getting into going, like it does help you with mental too. It does something to you. You feel so achieved. It feels so good. And I'd get home and full of energy, like on a weekend or whatever, and come and cook and be like really, and he would get upset, like feel like, well, why are you so happy? Who did you see? Come on. Like, it was always something. It was always something, but yet he was telling me that he was supportive. He was supportive because he allowed me to do it. That's the only thing that I can say. He was supportive because, at least he's letting me go. He's not giving me a hard time. So it got to the point where I was feeling more drained with him than just trying to keep peace. So in saying that, like, I ended up just having to deal with what we needed to do. As I said about the gym, then after a while, after I was going and I hit my recovery time, then he was at a point where, well, now I want to go with you. But it had been 2.5 years or 2 years of me doing this by myself, enjoying how I felt in my own routine, that I was like, after all this time, you made me do this in my own time, and now you want to take it from my time? So it wasn't that I was seeing anybody else or that I had somebody at the gym. It was nothing like that. It was just that now this is my time. And this is the only time I get that's peaceful. Because when I go home, I have to deal with kids, and I have to deal with cleaning and getting ready for work and prepping and cooking and washing clothes. And it just doesn't stop once you're home. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I work a full-time job during tax seasons. It's crazy. Like, it's not easy. So if I can have 2.5 hours to myself to go to the gym and then get into the sauna and just do my walks, and it was me time. And then that's when I decided, you know what, now he's trying to dig into that and make it and dig into me for that, for wanting to go to the gym by myself, when that was the whole plan that he wanted in the first place. So supportive throughout all my weight loss journeys. I bet you I would have probably been a marathon runner for the rest of my life if he had been more supportive. He didn't go and watch me at these places. He didn't take my kids to go see me when I went to these runs, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, one full marathon. He did go to the full marathon, but that's because a few of my friends went and they did these posters. So then he got into it because they went. But there was one that I did, a 10K, that I made my son train with me for, and we finished it by ourselves. And at the finish line, he tells me, like, Mom, I'm so proud of myself. Oh, that kills me every time I think about that, because I helped him do that, and we did that together. And yeah, we took our pictures of us at that marathon, but we didn't have anybody there to say, like, good job and hug us and say they're proud of us. No. Every finish line, even at the 13Ks I did by myself, I was by myself, took my own little picture of myself, and then called him to pick me up. So I don't know where he felt he was supportive, just because he accepted that I did these things. And as long as they didn't interfere with him or change anything for him. And now it's still that way, but I don't care, because I'm still going to do it because it's not hurting anyone. Now, after I did tell him about the bodybuilding in October of 2024, when I already set up, I did a winter arc and set up goals and said, okay, this is it. I'm going to tell my husband this is what I want to do. And when I told him, he was excited for me. But he had always been excited about all the things, not excited, but he'd always been like, yeah, I know you can do it. Good, you're going to do it. You're going to be good at it. You know, even though that kind of support, he thinks that's supportive, that he cheered me on. But to me, supported would be more like, you know what, she's got to finish her steps. Let me get the dishes for her real quick since she cooked our dinner. Or no, it'd be, I have to do my steps, and then I'm seeing dirty dishes, and you know, or whatever, you know, just little things like that. Being supportive to me would have been to show up after I completed a run. Being supportive to me would have been like, let's go to sleep early. You know, I know you got to get up for this run. We'll pass on the social event this week. You know, that to me, like a compromise, a support system, helping me out when I'm overloaded on things. But anyway, I keep backtracking to that, all kinds of stuff in this video, so I don't even know how I'm gonna edit it, but I do want to get it out, so I'm just gonna keep going. Anyway, I was talking about when I set up my winter art goals. He was the first person I told. Well, I mentioned it to him to get a feel, and ended up telling him. But I did. I went to him and I said, you know, Juan, like, I've been seeing a lot of these influencers, and I've been researching a lot of things about bodybuilding, and I know my old coach used to do it, and I'm considering trying to get him to train me again when I'm ready. And he's like, well, ready for what? And I'm like, well, I what do you think if I try to do a bodybuilding show? And he's like, you think you can do that? And I'm like, yeah, but I want to get with you because I know the attire is, you know, a bikini. And I started showing him some of the shows, and I was like, you see that body? Like, I just want to have that, say I did it, and then get back to the healthy lifestyle. You know, I think I want to do it. And he's like, yeah, if you think you can do it, go for it. So he was good with it. He was like, yeah, you know, I think you can do it, and if you think you can, go for it. So that's when I really started to tell everyone else. That's when I first mentioned it to him, and he was okay with it. And on one of my goals was just try to eliminate alcohol. And so that was something that I knew that was going to affect him. And I told him, well, I know that when I do these mock preps, I won't be able to drink. So I want to start weaning away from drinking every weekend, you know. And so when I had the trainer, and him getting used to me leaving at 5 and having being with a man and all of that, that was hard for him. That is when it first started. But then after I left the trainer, it was for 6 months, and after I left the trainer and did my tummy tuck, it started to rebuild us again a little bit. He didn't give me that hard of a time during that time, but he was always like, why do you gotta go so early? Look at how you get up so quick to go. And it was like, no, I'm paying for this person, I need to do it. Like, that's crazy for me to just pay a trainer and not go. And so he got used to that idea, but he was still like seeing the body change, seeing my confidence grow, you know, and it started to make him feel intimidated or insecure maybe, but it wasn't to where he was like, that's when he was like, well, I want to go to the gym with you. And then I was like, well, no, now this is me time. And even my friends sided on him with him on that. You should take him with you. If he's thinking that you're getting dressed to go see somebody else, take him with you. But that was my alone time. And I set a boundary there, a non-negotiable. You said to not take it away from you, so now you're not taking this away from me. Like, don't take your time away from you. Do it on your own time. And that's what I did. That is my own time, and now you're not taking it from me. And I hope my friends did start to understand that, because they did side with him. We'll take him with you so he can see. No, he's going to trust me. This is my time. I love the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel grounded, accountable, like successful, challenged, everything. Like, I loved it, and nobody was going to take that from me. And to this day, nobody takes it except my little one, because in the summer he likes to go sometimes. But anyway, so that it took him a while to be okay with me going by myself. But then when I brought up bodybuilding, now it was going to change me actually going to a lot of these places with him, because I needed to get right with alcohol. I needed to be able to be around it and not care to drink it and still enjoy myself and be able to salsa dance without a tequila shot. So that was what I wanted to work on in 2025. And so that brought on a lot of arguments when I would tell him, I'm not going, go by yourself. And he'd stay home and mope. But it was a non-negotiable, and I had to start creating boundaries, just like I did with the gym. It's like I had to reteach him that I was not her anymore. She's not here anymore. And if I'm going to learn to love you and accept you, not wanting to change your life around for me, then you have to learn to love me the way I am and get to know the new me. And if at the end of it all, we really don't have anything in common anymore and we fall out of love with each other, we tried. And I know it sounds like, or it may sound like, oh, she don't love her husband, she gave up on him. It isn't that. It's that I've been through so much with him. I mean, we got married in 2009. Always his way, always putting myself on the back burner, and me just towards the end just wanting peace, walking around on tiptoes and not talking about my weight loss, trying not to feel like I'm getting too excited about hitting a new PR, writing in my weight loss journal when he's in the restroom so he doesn't see me focusing on something that I enjoy. Like, I wasn't going to do that anymore in 2024, 25. I wasn't going to do it anymore. Like, I just wasn't. So, I we still have our things. At one point I did say, well, why don't you try to stop drinking so much? You want me to keep going out with you? Yeah, let's go out. But we're going to come home at a decent time, because we're not going to drink alcohol. And we'll be able to come home at 10. And then I'll be able to get my way and you get to be with friends, but don't drink. If you don't want me to wear my clothes that I feel comfortable in, then I don't want you drinking. And that's when I was like, see how stupid that sounds? Your non-negotiable is not to change your fun activities and alcohol. My non-negotiable is don't mess with the gym and what I'm wearing. Like, you want to create boundaries and you don't ever want me to overstep them. But if I create a boundary, oh my God, she needs to be with someone else, and she doesn't love me, she's not the same person, I'd rather her be fat because she was fun. Come on. That girl's gone. And I didn't give in. And we're a lot better now. Um, he accepts what I enjoy, and I am okay with what he likes. And even right now on this prep, we're still going to social events and everything. But when I get down to like 1,400 calories with a shitload of cardio, I don't know what my life's going to be like. And that's when I'm going to have to, be okay. You had fun these whole months. Now I need to back down. Because it's not that my marriage is not important to me. It's not that I don't love my husband. But you get a little tired of giving all of yourself and not feeling like it's worth it, like you're getting anything out of it. And I mean, he's better at a lot of things, and he understands what I'm going through. I went to a bodybuilding show in I think it was September, October or November. One of those months, I went to a bodybuilding show with my coach after I decided to tell him that I needed him to do a mock prep for me. And he said, had I ever been to a show? I said no, and I was reluctant to take my husband because he was going to make faces. But I told him, I want you to go, and I want you to see this with me, because I'm going to be asking George a lot of questions, and I want, to understand it. And he's like, okay, I'll go. And he went, and he was like, yeah, I think you can do it. And he did always tell me he was proud of me. He's proud that I've done what I've set out to do. But I think at the same time, he, with all the diets and things that I've done, the yo-yoing I did so much, he thought this was just another one of those. When I said I was going to get a trainer after the Manjaro shot, he thought I was just bullshitting. And then reality check, came in, and he's like, whoa, like she did it. Oh, whoa, like I can see her changing. Wow, like, and it took a lot for him too. And at one point, like I said, I was trying to get him to stop drinking alcohol so he can try to live a better lifestyle. But then I was like, you can't make somebody do something they don't want to, and he's not going to make me do anything I don't want to. So he is doing a lot better. We both are. He is used to, I just didn't give in, and I think we're better. But the way he did me a lot of times, like, made me feel, I can say, like, he took a part of me away that I used to feel through. So I have no regrets. And I'm glad I was still able to try to keep the peace for everybody else, but it was exhausting. Like, when I was trying to keep the peace for him and go follow him where he wanted me to be and try to live both lifestyles at the same time, it was so exhausting for me. And I had to finally say, if you love me at all, you'll learn to love who I am today. If you cannot, then we need to walk away. But I'm not going to give up anything unless you tell me it's bad for me. And if you tell me it's bad for me and I can see your point in that, I'll stop doing it. Other than that, you should be happy that I want to live a long time to see my grandbabies. I'm 52 and my oldest is 21 years old, not even thinking of having babies. He's getting his bachelor's degree this month in May, and gonna probably get his master's. He's not even sure. So they're nowhere near having babies. How's it gonna be if I kept living that life and I wouldn't be able to enjoy those babies that I want to be here for? yes, I love my husband, but I need to love myself and have peace within me. And he's learning that I wasn't gonna give in. And once he learned that I wasn't gonna give in, he started to see that he needed to give a little more, and respect my boundaries. Um, like I said, it's still hard. Every once in a while, it'll trigger him and he gets upset if I don't want to do something. But I'm like, oh well. Because sometimes I felt like he was even trying to sabotage me. He would know I needed to be up at 4, and then he would put the TV on in the bedroom and be like, let's watch TV. And I'd be like, I think you just want to see me fail. You know, that's how he was starting to make me feel. So maybe that's where the resentment came in. Like, you just want to see me fail. But I would be like, you know what? I'm not. I'm still going to get up. And I'm still going to do it. And I would. And, you know, I guess it was a reality check for him to see that this girl is not gonna give up. This girl says she's gonna do it, she's gonna do it. I am not going to, like, he used to be like, okay, she's gonna do it, yeah. And then he'd see me do it. But those yo-yo diets, I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, oh, sorry, failed, eat, drink, you know, give in, you know, get to 140, think I look good. And then he's like, my baby's back, she's back. But no, this time it was like, she's not back, she's not back, when is she coming back? And he had to have that reality check. And I'm hoping that, you know, we get better, because it was very rocky in 2024. That was really bad. And then in 2025 it started happening again. But then in October I did my winter's arc, and I was like, you know what, things gotta change or we gotta split up. And the past few months, even my friends are like, hey, like, you're not venting anymore. And it's like, it is what it is. I don't want to see my husband leave. He doesn't want to see me leave. We're learning to, like, now we compromise on coffee shops that have baristas, you know, like coffee bars. And so he'll have his drink and I'll have my coffee, and we're good, and we can talk. And I do go salsa dancing, and I don't have to drink, and it feels good to know that it wasn't the alcohol. And you know, so we don't go out as often. He now knows, like, Fridays we kind of stay in, and he seems more okay with it. He has his drinks at here if he wants to, and sometimes not at all. So he is kind of drinking less too. And we get along a lot better. I think this year, since maybe November of last year, it was like, yeah, we can do this, we can make it. But we will find out if this prep is gonna get the best of him. We're excited now because we're, you know, we've already paid for our flights for California for my fashion show, and we're looking at the Airbnbs, and I will be able to get out for prep and have a drink, but then I may not want to. We'll see what prep does to me, right? And we'll see if me going through all of those through the end of the prep, if it's gonna take a toll on our marriage. And I hope not. I am giving a lot right now, and I am reminding him I'm still doing a lot with you now, because my calories are really good and I'm feeling really good at the gym, and I'm changing my schedule around so that, you know, that was one of the things that I told him. I will stay up later with you on the weekends if you do not get upset that breakfast has to be at 10 instead of 8, because I want to sleep in to go to the gym, and before I go to breakfast. And so, see, we started to compromise on that. He's like, okay. And so now he knows that if we go out, we're going to have breakfast the next day late, because I'm going to do a gym session in the morning. So so little things like that come up, and then we just try to resolve them and compromise together. There was even one time that every Thursday we would sit in bed for 30 minutes and talk about how the week went, um, and what was bothering us about each other, and what we needed to work on for the next week. And we did that for like maybe 3 months, and it was helpful too. It was something that my coworker had suggested us do, and it allowed him to open up more about how he was feeling, and then I opened up about how I was feeling. And since around November, we stopped doing it just because we were able to just talk more freely now, without having to allot some time to bitch at each other back and forth and figure stuff out, because sometimes those sessions would end with us arguing, and then we would have to retract and get back to a good spot before we went to bed. So that's one of the things that we would do as well. But other than that, things are better, and I held my ground. He tried to hold his, but like I said, I wasn't doing anything that was negative for him to really fight me on. And right now we're doing good, and hopefully it stays that way. Nobody wants to get divorced at 52, right? Or at least I hope not, unless it's really bad. But we're doing better this year, and I think that we've learned to be able to talk to each other about things a little better. And but it wasn't always like that. It was really rough. But I guess that is it for this segment. And the next video is going to be about how I got involved with the trainer, and what all benefits I got from that, because sometimes we let trainers just do their thing, right, and we don't really learn from it. But that was one of my goals, was to learn what I could, and that's what I want to talk about my next episode. So I look forward to talking to y'all soon, and I'm sorry this one was late, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.